Hello everyone, this is Flatline, and today I'm going to be doing a PvT rough build, I guess you could say. It's going to be a little tutorial on the build that I've been working on a little bit. And anyways, spawning on the top right on Cloud Kingdom, it's going to be the red Terran. Um, yeah, Acro. And spawning on the bottom left is going to be me, Flatline. So, on this map, it's pretty good where you can do like a little harassment. And PvT can be pretty hard sometimes for the Protoss players. It can be hard for the Terran player as well. Just dealing with that Ghost, Viking, MMM composition can be really frustrating when the game gets long and both of your players are maxed out, because one, Terran's gonna have more army supply because they have mules, so they can sack SCVs and get a bigger army with that, which allows them to mass up a lot of Vikings, which allows them to mass up a lot of Ghosts. And if they're able to take away your Colossus, able to take away your High Templars, the Storm, it gets very difficult to win from there on. So this is one way you could try to gain an advantage against a standard macro Terran. So what I did was I went to 9 Scout. I always like to 9 Scout against Terran. So you want to get inside his base. First you want to see, is he making a barracks? The next thing is to count his SCVs. You want to make sure he does have the standard amount. If you see very few SCVs and no barracks being built, expect a proxy 2 racks, right? So, and you also want to see when he's getting gas, if he's getting gas. And then from there you can just play standard as if he was doing a 1 racks expand. What you see right here, I just get my gateways. You're just gonna constantly chrono boost probes because he is you don't really know anything right now, but you saw no gas, so you can still chrono boost probes constantly right now. Only have 1 gas. You're gonna see me send this probe over here inside his natural. You want to see if he's getting that expansion down, and there it is. Alright, so I see the expansion. I see his 2 marines. Everything is pretty standard coming out from the Terran. What does that mean? This chrono boost can be used on the probe instead of being used on my gateway. I can use it on my probes. This allows me to get a lot more probes, even though they're unnecessary at this point. Whenever I expand, I'm gonna have that extra 1 or 2 probes to transfer over, and it just boosts up my economy at this point. Because he has a faster command center, so he's gonna be able to make 2 SCVs before he's gonna be able to make 2 probes at the same time. So this is a little way of compensating for that. I'm also gonna be able to take out this SCV, and he's not gonna be able to scout this. Has not seen a Nexus. He's probably gonna have to sacrifice another SCV to play safe, or he could play slightly risky here and do whatever he wants to do. Now this guy is cutting corners. Wow, he still hasn't made a bunker at all. And if it was a 4 gate, I don't know how he would hold this. But anyways, back to my base. You want to make a sentry after the Nexus, pylon, and then a simulator. All your chrono boost is dedicated to your probes. All your chrono boost is dedicated to your probes. And then you're gonna make a robotics facility, and then add that second gateway. And then after the second gateway, you should be able to squeeze in a sentry, and then you want to throw down your 3rd gateway. Ta-da! I'm not really gonna write down the build order, so you might just have to go through this video, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys. Just note all the chrono boost is used on probes. Don't get supply blocked with your pylons. And the build order will sink in really easily for you. You go 1 gate, then robo, then 2nd gate, sentry, and then your 3rd gate. Pretty simple. once this is done, once Warp Gate's done, you want to be able to have at least one chrono boost on your robotics. This is going to allow you to chrono boost out that Warp Prism, and you want to warp in 2 additional sentries for your first 2 Warp Gates. And now you're going to have 4 sentries, and you're going to put all of them into the robotics. So there, we're going to start to see some risk coming from this build, is that you are 4 sentry less than you should be if you go 3 sentries. Some people go 3 sentries, but this build is around the 4 sentry count. So if they do some kind of like early marine pressure or anything like that, this build is probably gonna be bad. If you do face anybody going for that little marine pressure, depending on how many marines they're committing, like if they do that small little group of like um, 6 or 10 or something like that, you just warp in additional stalkers. It takes 5 stalkers to one shot marines at this point. Yep. So you're just gonna be sending this beautiful thing over here, and then back at your base, you're getting double forge, you're getting the robotics bay, and the observer. I'm gonna plant this beautiful sentries coming over here. Look at this. Look at how many workers are going to be able to kill. All of these are trapped. Now the stem timing finishes at 9 minutes, okay? So 9 minutes is the deadline, which is right there. So you want to be very, very careful. Thank goodness I got out of there. And then once you get out of there, you want to go straight. How do I get this out of here? Wow, this is so bad by me. You want to go straight back into your base. You can see he also has to take that distance walk as well to get down here and then get straight over here back into his base. So he can't really pressure you. And him scanning right here, that's awesome for me. He killed my observer. Yeah, that sucks. But that means he doesn't have a mule, right? And I killed so many workers, 32 workers to 54. So I'm a huge lead ahead when it comes to resources, to the income. Look at that. Even with the mule, he is still behind. And that's 56 to 34. You drop these suckers with you. You have just a few zealots, that's fine. But you have 1 Colossus to be with you. You also want to add these your 6 gateways as well. I'll put the replay as well so you can download it if you. This is getting pretty bad by me. I just wanted to get some content out there. This will be the first one for 2013. So cool. I was thinking about doing a Heart of the Swarm one because I did get a replay of Seed. And if you haven't, if you don't know anything about Seed, Seed is a very smart, probably one of the smartest Protoss players out there right now. And he has been dominating the Heart of the Swarm lately. I think he was #1 in GM. He had like a sick ratio, win ratio. It was like 95% win ratio or something like that. It was amazing. So if you want to see some Heart of the Swarm replays, you know, leave a comment below, and then I'll start getting some of those down to y'all. But yeah, so all you're gonna do is stick to Colossus. You want to get your double forge, get the Twilight Council. The time to get your Twilight Council is about 50 to 60% of when your +1/+1's almost done. That's all. These gateways are not in the best spot. I just put them there because I was in a rush and I needed to put these gateways down immediately. But it doesn't matter. You can see how I have everything pretty much under control. I have a lot of sentries, beautiful guardian shields going up, and he just does not have the units to take it because his income is not like it was, you know, if he was playing. It's, you know, Protoss wasn't harassing him. He would have all those marines, I mean all those SCVs, so his army would have been a lot bigger and stronger than the ones that he is, you know, putting out there against my army. Once you have 2 Colossus, you could kind of like expand. Usually I would expand after the first one, but since I saw him playing very aggressive with his build, I just know that I could take a later third and still be fine. Just need to make sure I can hold it. I like to put 2 cannons here. This is going to allow me to deal with the drops coming from that side. You want to get Blink with this build. Blink obviously to protect your Colossus against Vikings. And you want to start to think about going to the Templar Archives after that first engagement. Then the first engagement usually is when you have about 2 Colossus and your third one's popping out. You should be getting this Templar Archives. You can see I canceled that 4th Colossus. You want to go straight to Storm. I'm gonna get this Storm started. In the meantime, you know, just do your thing. I'm getting another observer because I'm kind of blind at this point. What's my vision here? You see his third right here, just being finished up. Mine's been finished, and I'm mining from it as well. The other thing I want to look at is his upgrades. He's only 1-1. I'm 2-2. I'm almost gonna be 3-3. So my timing is gonna be the 3-3 mark, right? Because he is sacrificing his upgrades. He's gonna put that on hold for a very long time, so he could be able to make a decent sized army and get back up into economy. There's 3 things that you know that goes on in RTS. It's upgrades, army, and resources, right? And you can only get 2 when you're behind. You can only be able to, you know, decently make 2 of them, and so he's gonna be able to get his income started up. He's gonna be able to create that army, but he's not gonna be able to get this upgrade started. You can see he's still only on 1 engineering bay. Oh wait, he has 2 right here. His 2-2 is started really late. It's been delayed for a very long time. It's so delayed at the point where he started 2-2 and my 3-3 is almost done. That leaves a huge timing window for me because he's going to be 2-2 for a very long time. That's over a minute and a half in game. So I have a minute and a half to pretty much poke around. He can't be out on the map. I also have 2 high Templars which have Storm. Almost completed. 75 on the way. There it is. See? Storm on the way. One thing I did forget is to get charge. That's one thing I tend to forget a lot with this build is to get charge. You want to get blink and then charge, but you want to make sure you start 2-2, of course. To get charge, you basically cut one of these Colossus that I had. I did lose a couple of them, but you cut one Colossus so you're able to afford that that charge, and then you make the Colossus whenever you can. That's the only difference. I'm getting +1 shield because I pretty much won and there's nothing else for me to do. He's moving out on the map, and this is pretty risky of him if you don't know, if he doesn't know what I'm doing or where I'm at. He definitely doesn't want to do this. So the infrastructures that you want when you're hitting this late game, and this applies to any build. Anytime you're on 3 base and you're setting to about the time you get 3 base saturated, it's about the time you should be playing aggressive as a Protoss. It's Protoss' role to play aggressive in this sense, because generally if you play PvT, you'll have 3-3 around this time. So what you do is you want to get 2 robos, and then you want to get about 12 to 14 gateways. 14 is very, very aggressive, very all-in-ish. I have 12. I have 12 gateways. I'm getting a dark shrine as well. I'm also getting the warp prism speed. You want to get that as well because if the game prolongs. I already knew the game wasn't going to prolong, but if you're in a case where you're playing PvT and it, you know, gets towards the later stage, you're not able to kill them right there, and it's kind of like even. You get your 4th behind this push. You get your DT shrine. You want to have 2 robos at least with 12 gateways. And that's the perfect thing that you want. With that, if you can't attack into Terran, like he just has a beautiful defense, and you know that if you know go into there, you're gonna come out behind. Then don't do it. Just use a warp prism to help you gain map or the positional advantage. So you would put some either high templars, you would put some zealots in there if you want. Drop him in like his main, warping some more units inside his main, at the point where he has to commit a huge chunk of his army, because the hardest thing when it comes to defending, and this includes when Protoss has to defend, is how much do you actually take away from the main army, right? You can't, if you send everything into the main to deal with a harassment, you leave yourself open, to another base that his main army could take advantage of. So you can't send the whole entire army, but if you send too few, he's gonna clean up all that army food, and he's gonna still do a lot of damage inside your main, right? So it's really, really difficult for the defender to take into account of how many units he needs to remove from his main army to bring it inside his main to deal with the harass or anything like that. But yeah. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I do hope you like this cast. Don't forget, you can also leave some comments below if you have any questions about it. I will upload the replay since this doesn't really have a build order to it. If you just want to see, because the opening is kind of like there. I mean, it's like all you do is corner boost probes and all that stuff. But after that, it's everything. It's all up to you how you play, how you like your style. I mean, you probably, if you want to improve this, you could go into Templar style if you're really confident. Templar style is really, really good. In fact, I think it's a little bit better than the Colossus because it syncs really well with the Warp Prism harass, with charge lots, with high Templars. You drop them and stuff like that. For me, I'm just having a very difficult time figuring out the ghost timings that they do when they counter and getting my Colossus out on time. But yeah. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter as well, twitter.com/flatness2, and don't forget to leave a comment below if you want to see that Heart of the Swarm stuff. I'm not sure if everyone still goes into that. Personally, I'm not into the Heart of the Swarm yet. I'm still focusing on Wings of Liberty. I think I'll dive into Heart of the Swarm in February. But yeah, so anyways, guys, thanks for watching.